Let's
Let's
go.
go.
New setup alert.
Woo!
We're so profesh, me and Meli. We both have
Yes.
headphones on.
I got the
And
fucking these ones.
yeah, but they're high quality because it's Sony. Mine are
Mm-hmm.
Sony too. Just kidding, they're Bose.
Oh.
No, Sony owns Bose.
Do they?
Bose afraid?
Oh. Oh. I
Welcome
actually
to
still
One on
haven't
One.
seen
Oh, I haven't seen that either.
Yeah. Oops.
We'll watch it one day.
Yeah.
Welcome to the One on One Ratio Pod with Yoav, Akiva, and
Melina Nazarian.
what movie are we talking about today?
Today we are talking about mysterious skin, guys. This is a heavy episode. Okay, this one's heavy.
I
So
think I think should we apply a content warning?
we definitely should apply a content warning.
You can listen to this part, but
Yeah.
just skip the mysterious skin if you're and don't watch the movie generally if you are triggered by child abuse, sexual assault, um
Molestation.
molestation, drug abuse, everything.
Just everything.
Everything. If you're frightened, if you're triggered from being frightened, don't watch this one.
Yeah, don't. Just hold off on it maybe until like you're in the right headspace.
If you're triggered, but if you're allergic to your own tears, I also recommend you to skip out on this one.
Yeah, just don't.
That would hurt.
Yeah. Your face will be stinging.
Yeah, you'll have a very sick. You have to you'll be hospitalized.
Yeah.
Um, what happened this week in terms of movies? Because a lot of things happened.
Well, I'm gonna let you take the thing that I know you want to take. I'll let you have that. I'll
Right.
start off easy and I'll just mention two really quick things. First off is that we got the trailer for All of Us. Wait, is that what it's
All of
called?
us strangers.
I forgot to write Strangers down here. All of Us Strangers trailer is out and it looks so good. So excited.
The
I'm
cinematography, the acting, the editing of that trailer is really really good.
yeah.
It's like there are some really good trailers this year and some really bad ones. I would say the Dune Part 2 trailer really fucked with that one. There was really good editing in that one.
Yeah.
This one's great. The Holdovers trailer I really liked. Um and you know how we like a good trailer.
Yeah. A good trailer means the movie is probably going to be
Good.
good. But
And Saltburn.
oh my god, oh my god.
Probably my
Oh my
favorite of the
god.
year, actually.
Yeah,
Should
so good. But
Even if
speaking
it's
of
not
that,
good,
oh,
it takes us to the theater, right?
facts. And I will be going to the theater and watching, even the bad ones, probably. But speaking of bad trailers, the Hunger Games Ballad of Songbird and Snake
Oh,
full trailer got released, even though I thought the original trailer was the full trailer. I guess not.
no,
It looks really bad, guys. Like
it looks horrible.
the more I see about this movie, the more disappointed I get. And it's sad because the original Hunger Games movies are so fun and they're so like
She even has a poster of them
I do right here, guys,
right
right
there.
here. Um, but we also have the Hunger Games returning to theaters October 10,
Something. 10.
7,
I don't know.
something like that.
I didn't even know that it was returning to theaters.
Yep, they are. And
That's
I
pretty
think I'm
cool.
gonna go see it. I'm gonna try at
I
least.
might too if it comes to the old Israel.
Yeah.
Um okay, well, yes, that trailer was awful. The CGI hurt to watch. Um
Bad.
but some pretty good actors in it.
Yes.
Isn't Rachel Zegler was on in the trailer as well.
Rachel Zegler
Don't
is playing Lucy Gray.
Not sure if I like her,
Yeah.
but
But Peter Dinklage, Viola Davis, Hunter Schafer, I'm very excited to see Viola and Peter.
Yeah. Worth it for the dinks.
Yep.
For the dinkles.
Now, pushing all that aside, Yoav,
Yeah.
do you want to mention the biggest news that we got?
Yes. Our monthly Criterion Collection news came up, and it was a pretty small announcement.
Mm-hmm.
Um, which was a little disappointing because we all knew that this month was when we're going to get to the 1200th title of the collection, and whenever they do round numbers, it's something big.
Mm-hmm.
So there have been rumors that we would have gotten a comprehensive Twin Peaks 4K box set, which literally doesn't even sound realistic now that I say it. But it got me super excited. Um, but it didn't happen. But we got some pretty cool stuff and a pretty cool box set instead that I might actually be purchasing. First, we got Blast of Silence, a black-hearted noir set in Manhattan at Christmas time. Have you heard of that one?
I have not. This is the first time I heard about it
I
when
haven't either.
yeah.
But it was a DVD first, so it's like an upgrade. Um, Looking forward to maybe seeing that one. I love when they do more obscure stuff and like goes into the stream of like conversation.
Mm-hmm.
And a noir set in Christmas time
That
in
sounds fun.
Manhattan sounds
Mm.
pretty fun. And the trailer was kind of cool. So looking forward to that. And then the aforementioned 1200th title was The Red Balloon and Other Stories, 5 films by Albert Lamouris. Um have you seen The Red Balloon?
I have not.
I have. It's
Okay.
it's one of the most wholesome things you'll ever see. Um
It looks wholesome.
it's
Like,
I think it might be one of the first movies I show my child if I end up having one of those,
oh,
because it's so wholesome, and it is technically for kids, but it has this like vibe to it that like it's like automatic nostalgia even if you haven't seen it before. I haven't seen any other of this director's films, but I have a soft spot for soft films and child films, and like you know pick me
yeah,
up,
yeah.
and we don't have a lot of those in the collection, so
Mm-hmm.
me and Meli will check them out and report back.
Yes.
And then the bombshell. The bombshell in the shape of a wooden boy with
Yep.
a long nose. Guillermo del
With a long
Noise.
noise.
Nose. Guillermo del Toro's
Hmm.
2022 adaptation of Pinocchio is in the collection.
May I say something?
you go Sorry,
Because
your voice went sig smoker.
yeah. May I say something? Because I think the farther I get along in my Shrek journey, the more the universe is out to be against me. First, I have a pair of Shrek Crocs
You want
coming
to
in the
explain why you're on a Shrek journey?
yeah, let me give it okay. My high school his where he used to go, well, the lore. We're doing a production of Shrek, okay? And I'm stage managing Shrek. And it's quite a journey, and obviously Pinocchio's a character. But every like as the time goes on and days pass by, things are aligning with Shrek. So I win a pair of Shrek Crocs, and now Pinocchio is out on Criterion. Like, the world just really wants to see Shrek happen.
You've seen Guillermo del Toro's Pinocchio, correct? For the Oscars. Oh, you never watched
That
it.
was the one that I never ended up watching because I ran out of
And it
time.
won. And it won.
Yeah.
Um, I would have given it to Puss in Boots: The Last Wish because that was a banger movie. Pinocchio was okay. It had really stunning animation. But I wouldn't put it in the same collection as what like all of the titles you see up here.
Like
Um,
it would have been, wouldn't it have been so great if they released a Greg Araki movie the week we
you
were
know, like
doing Mysterious
like
Skin?
a little mysterious skin moment.
Like
Waiting for that.
when are they gonna
Waiting for
release?
a Greg Araki box set because he's been like interviewing with Janus Films.
Yeah. And he went to
So
their closet. Like, come on, like put Greg out
yeah,
there. Like you are being so
yeah. Take
anti.
him out of the closet and into the collection. He's already out of
Boom.
the closet,
Yeah,
actually.
he's been out of the closet since he was like
His
10 years
films
old.
kind of speak for that.
Yeah.
10 years old,
No, I'm
Jesus.
exaggerating.
Since he left the womb.
Woo! He knew, sporting a gay pride flag the minute
There
he
you go.
left.
I think Greg Araki is kind of a gay name.
It Greg with two G's is
Yeah,
so gay,
that's gay.
but like in a good
But
way, guys.
obviously, um, did you watch the new Nick Cage trailer?
I didn't.
Oh, well, moving on.
Well, no, talk
Kidding.
about it. I heard about
Dream
it.
scenario starring Nicolas Cage. A schlubby professor who never made it becomes an overnight celebrity after appearing in every person on Earth's dreams
Whoa,
on the same
that's
night.
that's creepy.
And it's been getting pretty good reviews as like a crazy comedy that has a lot to say. So really
Okay,
looking forward to seeing this one. And the trailer was kind of cool. I recommend it to you, Meli.
I will watch it after we're done with the episode.
Hey Meli, I saw that you know what you did watch?
What did I watch?
You watched the theater camp. Theater
I
camp.
did, guys. So, this week I had a little bit more free time because I finished all my homework and I thought I'm gonna watch Theater Camp because I've been wanting to watch it. Guys, it's so funny. Oh, okay. I'm gonna keep this short and simple. If you are a theater kid, were a theater kid, want to be a theater kid, don't want to be a theater kid, watch this movie because unfortunately, it's a bit exaggerated, but unfortunately, it is so true.
True. Oh my
It
god.
it hits every stereotype. It like I know it was like directed by Molly Gordon and Nick Lieberman and
Theater
also
kids.
Theater Kids. Also, it was written by them and Ben Platt. So it's written by theater kids. It's so accurate. It's so funny. The jokes are all hilarious. Like so good. It's 90 minutes, short, sweet, simple. Um it's so good. It's so good. It
I'll
really like
definitely be watching that.
you have to like as a theater
Even though
kid. Oh,
I'm not the biggest Ben Platt fan,
you know
but
what? You know what? I am not either, but he really like he's funny in
he brought it.
this. Yeah.
He brought it. The trailer automatically gave me like vibes that were so true
Yeah.
to everything.
It
Like
really
specifically
like
theater in California,
oh yeah.
like where we were,
Yeah, very
where you
much
are. Yeah.
encapture income whatever the captures
Encapsulated.
encapsulates the toxicity of theater, but also just like the over the top dramatics that like are so unnecessary, but like so good. Definitely recommend to watch. I also watched The Big Shave.
That's a great one. I love that one. Do
um
you like it?
I thought it was really cool.
I
Yeah.
yeah, your review was like very cool.
Yes, I watched it in class. We were in advisory with my friend. I was like, "Let's watch The Big Shave," and she was like, "What's
That's
The
a
Big
very
Shave?"
violent movie to watch in class.
It yeah, and then we were both like, "Oh my god, whoa!" And she was like, "I'm
I didn't think it would
confused."
be that violent when I saw it. When I
Same.
was like gonna play it, I didn't know it was fucking body horror, like
Yeah,
full on. It's it's not
but
realistic, but it's like
it was so cool. Like I loved the shots, even just like the simple shots,
yeah,
like the sink and the shaving cream can and everything. I was like, "Very nice, Marty."
it's the beginning of a master.
Yeah,
You can tell, and it's so simple, just obscure to the point where you don't really understand it, but it's kind of personal. I think it's sort of something relating to the Vietnam War and like self deprecation of the military or the US government
Oh, wow.
during the war. Like I don't know, that's like the most common interpretation, but
Nice.
take it as you will. I
Yeah.
think it's a fun film.
I think he's a little I think he likes blood.
Yeah, but is that it? Should I what did
Yeah,
you
that's it.
watch?
Your
Talk about.
turn.
I watched two films. I'll talk about one of them. Charlie Chaplin, you know Charles.
We
Good
know
old
him.
Charles. Yeah. He made a little movie called The Kid. And The Kid is one of his most famous films. It's from 1921. So this one is currently 102 years old. It
Wow.
holds up. It holds up. Along with all the other Charlie Chaplin films I've seen. Holds up. Very great movie. It got some few little chuckles out of me. Have you seen a Charlie Chaplin movie?
I haven't.
Oh, well, it will pop up in your film journey. It has to. I grew up on Charlie Chaplin. My dad used to shove his films in my face
Wow.
when I was a kid.
Your
So
dad is so hip
Modern
for that.
Times, great dictator. Yes, my dad is very hip for that. Shout out dad.
Woo!
But yeah, The Kid, very cute movie. I I didn't know that he just say Charlie had a preference for underage girls. I wasn't aware of that till like few weeks ago.
That is
Um
fitting for the movie of the week.
but it didn't ruin this movie. It separate art from artist because his movies are relatively wholesome,
Hmm.
except for obviously Great Dictator and stuff he did in Sweden in the 70s after he got kicked out of the US. But this one's really sweet and cute, and it's like an hour long. Great pick from my teacher for film class. So love
Nice.
that.
Awesome.
But yeah, that's what I watched this week.
All right, that's awesome.
Should we get to our
Yeah,
title film?
yeah, guys.
Let's get mysterious.
We'll see you in the next segment.
Bye guys.
We're about to get mysterious.
Big breath for this one. We're talking about mysterious skin. Meli, I would like you to start with your history with this film, like what it means to you.
Okay, guys. So, if you don't know, which I don't know if you guys know, I am a huge Greg Araki fan. Okay, I love him. I have seen quite a few of his movies, and I think like about 3 left to watch. Um,
Oh, you've like actually grazed through his filmography.
yeah,
I respect that.
there's a few that like I want to watch, but I don't think I can because they cannot be found anywhere.
Aren't yeah, a lot of his ones are like unavailable.
Yeah.
Cause I remember searching to watch his film Nowhere, and it
Mhm.
was like no
No,
I couldn't. It was nowhere, nowhere to be
nowhere,
found.
nowhere they have it on like websites. Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
yeah, true.
But so I had first heard of this movie. I had kind of I heard of Greg Araki. Actually, the first movie of his I heard of was Nowhere, not
Mhm.
Mysterious Skin. But Miss
That's strange.
Yeah, I know.
That's
But
weird. You're fucking weird.
no, I think I saw it in like a film video.
Hmm.
And but Mysterious Skin was my first Greg Araki movie, which personally,
Like me.
like Yoav, and fully believe that this has to be your first Greg Araki movie.
Okay,
You
that's good.
cannot start with Nowhere, Doom Generation. I could also see Smiley Face being no, I take
Right.
it back.
Oh, okay.
I take it back because I feel like Smiley Face is like if that's your first Gregoraki movie, you might just be like Really?
What?
Like, because that one is so different from everything else he's made.
Right.
Um, but
That's like
pretty
watching David Lynch's The Straight Story before watching his other movies.
right.
Right.
I totally know what that is.
Oh.
But I so yeah, first Gregoraki movie, and I was like instantly like hook. Oh my god, how the guys? My computer's acting up.
You were instantly hooked.
I was it. I was instantly hooked, and basically I was like, "Yep, this man is like, I love this man. He is the director for me." And then I continued watching his movies. Um, I have a deeper connection with his other movies, like especially Nowhere and Miss and Doom Generation, but this movie like kicked off my love for him, so it will always hold a special place in my heart. Yeah.
That reminds me of when I first watched Taste of Cherry.
Mm,
When I saw that movie, a busker was telling me it was like that's it. That's the man.
yeah, yeah,
That's
yeah.
a freaking man. Um
So
that's
actually,
cool.
it is
Yeah,
cool,
no.
but I want to hear your first note.
Okay, I've been holding you on the edge of your seat.
Yeah.
Well, again, I did write a lot of short notes for this one. Mostly reactionary, and then at the end I wrote like a fucking essay.
Mm-hmm.
So we will
Okay.
get to that. I'm gonna use that essay as like the Letterboxd review, and I'm gonna read it out to you because that was like me not being able to sleep and just writing what I could.
Okay. All right, all right. So then,
Let me
so
just say,
so share
let me
your
just tell you.
anecdotes first. Yeah.
Okay, okay. Let me just tell you this. I am also hooked on Greg effing Araki. I am. I am. I from the first freaking shot. First of all, let me start real beginning. There's the film company is called Strand Films, and their intro is so cool. If I ever need to design a film company intro, that's a really cool intro. Do you agree?
What was their intro?
There's like smoke and shit.
I'm not remembering.
Whatever. I really messed with it. It was
Okay.
awesome. And then from there I was like, okay, okay, okay. And then the first shot. And my heart like started not even beating, just like it like kind of stopped for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of in awe because this shot, if you guys don't know, spoiler warning on the film, whoever is here, you've seen it, right? Um, of just a white back, you know what I'm talking about if you saw
Yeah,
it.
and I'm
Just
gonna
a white
yeah.
background and the Fruit Loops are falling on his face. I have never felt that much purity, that much innocence in a shot like that in such a contained way since freaking it's weird that I mentioned I make a lot of comparisons between this and I mentioned David Lynch earlier. Gregor Rocky's a big Lynch fan since this moment in Fire Walk with Me. But that moment with Fire Walk with Me is complicated. This one is in the real beginning of the movie, and I've never felt that much innocence, that much purity, that much childhood, that much contained emotion in one shot. That much there's a bliss to it. There's such a fucking bliss to it that just freaking made my heart swell. And automatically I was like, this is gonna be a very emotional ride. Let me just say that one shot, just like I can't. I can't. That
I also
I was
I mean, okay. I also have a note about the opening scene.
go ahead.
And because I've seen this movie before, the first time I watched it, I basically felt the same thing you did. Where I was like, "Oh my God, like this scene is so wholesome and so pure." But then on a rewatch, and
It's worse, I'm sure.
I forgot that was the opening scene.
Right.
And on on my rewatch,
The context is horrifying.
knowing the context of the movie going in and the context of the first scene, I was already like, I wanted to throw up because
Yeah.
it was just so horrifying. And like knowing what that scene is and what it signifies in the movie and like what, oh my god, I just like, I was like watching it and I was like, holy shit. And the Fruit Loops and like the food and what that like
Absolutely
sig
not.
like what that means, and I just felt sick already and I was like, okay.
I'll tell you this, I knew there was sexual assault in this movie. I wasn't even aware that it was like completely towards minors. I didn't know.
You
I knew there was
didn't?
like no, I thought that like the child abuse here was like a parent like hitting their kid and shit. Like I didn't actually think that there was like molestation
Oh
in high school.
shit. Oh,
So
I thought you knew.
I this was kind of blindly entering this for me. So that's why I got that immediate like innocence reaction from this. And
Oh.
I was like, "Oh, this kid's going to get beaten." I I knew there was some sort of like rape and like sexual assault cuz I that's like the connotation, but like for some reason child abuse like I that didn't go directly to molestation for me.
Oh wow,
Um
okay. I thought you knew
so
that.
let me tell you this was pretty visceral.
Yeah.
Um when he starts the movie and he's like the first time I came was summer of frickin' whatever. I was like, okay, that is very like a gross way to start, very voyeuristic, very like I don't like seeing this kid masturbating and I don't like hearing him talk about it cuz something about it is obviously gross. It's a child talking about jerking off.
Yeah, it's
That's
disgusting.
not a that's not you know we'll talk about this, but as a kid obviously this whole aspect of life of sexuality isn't something that's involved in you, and that's something you slowly discover and in the beginning automatically feel shameful about it. Now this voiceover saying I just came, and the face on the child actor's face made me very uncomfortable because this is not how a child should be acting. And from there, he says, I can't wait to show coach. And then I was like, oh shit, now I get it. Now I fucking get it.
Yep, that was
Um,
also a note of mine, so nice job.
gross, gross, gross. I, from that moment, was like, oh shit. Um, what was your journey the first time?
Well, I honestly don't remember like
Yeah.
what I went through the first time watching it. I think I was just like in
Did you know it
shock.
was about like
Yes, I
child
did.
rape? Okay.
Well, to a
I
certain
I
extent,
kind
like
of understood, but I didn't really piece together that that's what exactly this movie's about.
mine was similar. Like going in, I knew to a degree that there was going to be some sort of relationship between an adult and a minor. Um, I didn't realize that they were going to be so young, and I didn't realize that there was two of them. I
Yeah.
thought it was just Neil. So the first time watching it, his whole journey really, really shocked me.
Yeah.
But on a rewatch, like just like watching that scene, like I just felt so sad and I just felt so bad for these kids. Because I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, as an 8-year old, you like you should not be going through that at 8. And
Obviously not.
and then also like on a rewatch, I do not blame his mother, but I
Okay.
do think that
Neil's mom?
yes,
Okay.
that she could have done much better.
She's pretty negligent.
Yeah,
She
she
is.
is. She is. Um, and I
Obviously, you can't
know
blame her for Coach's actions.
no, I don't know. Obviously, I don't blame her for that, but I do blame her for not taking care of her child and like
Or taking hints.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's weird. It's weird. Like objectively seeing that your kid is going to coach's house and he tells you about going to coach's house is
Mm-hmm.
weird.
It's very weird. And then like
Um,
being so careless and your kid seeing you having sex, like that you should
were
not
they
be
having
that.
sex? Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. They were. Yeah.
Well, oral sex, same thing.
Yeah.
Like you should not be so careless to where your 8-year-old child can see you. That's I just felt so bad for him. Like,
Um, and then I'm just gonna go through my notes
yeah,
chronologically.
yeah.
That UFO scene is super magical.
Mm,
When he does see the UFO, it's a very like the music. I'll get to the music, but that scene is just very magical. It reminded me of Close Encounters of the Third Kind, which is like a Spielberg kind of action movie.
hmm
Um, and it was heavily influenced by that. But it looks kind of fake, but like it's a you know even when you watch that scene that it's some sort of coping mechanism because of visually how it looks. Um, and that scene is just very. I like that scene a lot. I was like I didn't really know where this was going. I couldn't tell if there was actually a fantasy element to it or like sci-fi
right.
fantasy element to it. But that scene was very magical and good. Um, and then obviously it went from like 10 to 100 because I was like I wrote down extremely uncomfortable with this coach guy, and then my next note is in all caps and saying that's fucking awful, which is a lot. I do repeat that a lot in my notes. That's fucking awful. That's
hmm
fucking awful. That's freaking fucking awful. Um because the the scene in Coach's house, that first scene, um, I hate it. No, I hate it.
Like
It's brutal. It's
it's giving
brutal.
me like chills right now. Like I
There's, I, you have to have a lot of balls as a filmmaker to go where Gregoraki goes in
oh
this
yeah.
movie. It is extremely unflinching. It's maybe the most unflinching movie I've ever seen in the way that the close-ups stay. It stays with it's not like shy of showing just going one more step to the point where uncomfortability, extreme uncomfortability, and then going up to the step of brutal. It is brutal. Those scenes are brutal. Um and extremely hard to watch. It just like I felt like bugs under my skin. I was like curling up in a ball. I was like that is so awful. Um, but I do really respect Greg for all that he does here. And his unflinching and the balls on the man.
Yeah.
Do you have any notes about that?
I think it just goes to show like how great of a director he is and how truly underrated he is because you don't get a lot of movies like this anymore and you don't get a lot of directors who are going to be fearless and make these types of movies that are very uncomfortable uh and like really hard hitting. Like you don't get this anymore. And now, especially in today's day and age, like where people are so sensitive towards these types of things, where they think
Mm.
that you can't make movies like this anymore because if you make movies like this, then you automatically support rape or you automatically
Right.
support like adults who are molesting kids. Like no. No,
Well,
that's
I'll just say it right now. A lot of the half stars and like really low ratings for this on Letterboxd are like, if you watch this and enjoy this or like this or gave this movie a 5, you're a fucking creepy freak. And like, have you seen those
yeah,
reviews?
I have. I've seen them. Yeah.
Yeah, because they're like, this is gross. You're gross. No, you don't get it. You're misunderstanding completely. You don't understand anything of
Yeah.
what this movie is giving you.
Yeah.
Um, this unflinchingness, I really haven't seen it like anything like this in my life of or in like my entire journey with film of a director that's has so much balls
Hmm.
and I I could go on a rant for hours on how wrong those letterbox reviewers are.
Yeah.
Um, but I'll just stick to the positive, saying that this man is doing so much to portray. I always say, show less, and then you'll get a bigger reaction. Show like minimize how much the audience can see, and then you. But in cases like this, there's a value to showing the actual violence
Hmm.
because this isn't something that's been done before, and it's giving people a very, very real and a very, very unflinching portrayal of what this actually is, how horrible this is. You
Yes.
can insinuate as much as you want, but showing stuff like this is a stern reminder to people how terrible this is. And it's a
And
reminder that everyone needs.
also a very like clear distinction between like this movie and other movies, I guess, is that the movie does not glorify um
To any
adults.
degree.
It does not glorify anything that happens in this movie. It is not saying, hey, we like little kids and grown adults having being intimate together. No, no,
Why are they
no.
saying that? That's so stupid.
This movie does not do that at all. And if you
It's
got that
literally the
from this,
opposite, bruh.
no, right? This scene alone, I mean, come on.
Exactly.
If
It's
you
it,
cannot understand this, then your media literacy
they're
skills are
very bad. There's scenes and because the cinematography and the way that the story is portrayed when it comes to Neil's perspective is Neil in his head glorifies his
yeah,
rapist
yes. It's not
because
Greg
that is
Araki
a
glorifying it.
extremely common thing.
Mm-hmm.
That is an extremely common thing. Neil's type is Coach pretty much.
Yeah.
Neil comes back to Coach's house. It's that's what it is. It's a
Mm-hmm.
cycle. It ruins people's life to the point where they can't they're inscrutably tied to this incident and this person that hurt them so much when they're a child. And
Yeah.
we'll get to that. But I just want to take a moment to talk about the music and the editing here. Um
Shoegaze.
Shoegaze, hell yeah. Slow Dive is a great band and they did a lot of the music for this film. Um they have fantastic music. Um and the music here is perfect. The editing and the music combined kind of put me in a trance.
Mm-hmm. And by the
These
way, Greg Araki edits
Oh, he
his
does?
movies.
Great. Um they entrance me, but these entrancing features are obviously juxtaposed by the awfulness of what's going on screen. The fades in and the fades out kind of made me feel like I'm dreaming or recalling the past or being part of something so incredibly personal and subjective that it feels like a memory. Um, and the music and the editing is just perfect, perfect. Do you have any notes about that?
I think one of my notes about the music is that it connects to what you were saying about how Neil romanticizes what he does in his head. I think the music adds another layer to that, and it also kind of in Neil's head is romanticizing the things that he is doing. Like it's again, it's not romanticizing it for the viewer, but it's for himself, as if
Right,
the music is playing like
in
in
his
his
head.
head while these things are going on.
Not only in his head, but in Brian's.
Yeah.
Um, I love I love how this story is told in that there's two different perspectives and you're seeing one person. It's in the tagline of the film. One can't stop thinking about it and one um can't for is trying to forget and can't or whatever. It's phrased much better in the
Yeah,
film.
it is.
Um Wait, do you know what it is? Can you tell me?
Um Let me pull it up.
I love how these two stories, one of them is a coping mechanism and
Oh,
someone,
here.
it's brutal. Sorry.
No, it's okay. Two boys, one can't remember, the other can't forget.
Yeah. I love I hate seeing Brian slowly discover what's going on. And that's his arc here. Um Understanding slowly that it wasn't aliens, it was a man, and it was a man that was hurting him and ruining his life by the most horrible actions. And watching him discover that is brutal.
Yeah.
Watching his arc is brutal because he's such a sweet dude.
Brian is like, he is my favorite. I love him so, so much. Like, he deserves the world.
He
And
does.
I just, I can't. Like, look at him. Look at him. And I was kind of saying the same thing that you did. And I love the way the movie shows like the two different ways to respond to trauma and how like um it kept Brian so young, you know, but then it grew Neil up,
Too
which is
fast.
yeah. And I think this again, this scene is a great like portrayal of
We'll
that.
get to we'll get to the end.
Yeah. But like Brian was very like I guess childlike, you know, and even his
Yeah.
room is a reflection of that and how he was kept so young and so sheltered too. And as the movie goes on, he's trying to like break away from that. And I think it kind of really starts when he confronts his father about it.
Yes. Oh,
And
that scene.
oh my God. And then he like slowly, you
Great
know,
performance from his dad.
yeah.
Great
Um,
performance.
he like starts to like take down his room and everything, but I don't know. I was just like I just really, really, really love the portrayal of the two
How
different
this
types of
is
trauma.
told, yeah.
It's so,
This is
so good.
incredibly detailed in the way it portrays the effects of trauma. And I've
Yeah.
never seen something this detailed because it puts you in these two perspectives, but it touches on every single response someone could have. It's so much research I could tell went into this, and child abuse victims, and I could tell that work was put into this to be such a detailed portrayal of how it affects people.
Yeah.
Um
What's your next?
I wrote here about the firework scene when he fucking puts him. That was disgusting. Where he puts a firework in that kid's mouth and starts jerking him off. Like it sounds like trashy when I say it, but it's actually like meaningful in the movie. Um, because it really explores, because I don't know how to describe it. As a kid,
I guess
when
it,
stuff happens to you, you usually think it's okay. I usually start doing it
yeah.
yourself too. You're very you're like a sponge, like
Hmm.
soaking things up that's shown to you, and then you start doing it.
That's
That's how it
basically like
goes.
what I wrote mostly. Because I wrote a lot about Neil's character
Hmm.
and how like he did not grow up with a strong paternal like presence. And so, because, as we said, his mom was practically absent. And so all he had was the coach. And so everything that the coach did, he thought it was okay. And he adopted those behaviors.
Like the
And
finger in the mouth.
uh-huh. And he continued that all throughout his teenage years when he was this age, and how like
Yeah.
all he really knew and all he knew how to do was to embrace himself through sex and sexual acts. And he like buries his trauma in sex. And it's so,
Tons of sex.
yeah, like if because he what is the word? They call it a hustler, but he's not a hustler. Like he
He's
sells
addicted.
himself for sex.
Yeah.
Because that's all he knows how to do. And he thinks that's he thinks that that's who he is and that's all he knows, and like it's like his self-worth.
And
Self-worth.
it's so sad to me to watch those sex scenes
Mm-hmm.
because he doesn't he's like a little kid that doesn't understand like what safe sex is, what nice people are, how good of a thing sex can be
Mm-hmm.
instead of a painful thing done by disgusting people to
Yep.
you. There's this scene when he's in New York, um and I I don't want to quote this. Um
It's okay.
okay, well, there's a scene in New York, not the shower scene, which is we'll touch
We'll
on
we'll
that, I
we'll get
think.
to that. Are
But
you
the
the
one
the one with the
before that,
warts?
no, the one where he gets the head trauma from it. When the last time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. The one before that is this guy who's like he's like relatively okay, but he's very, very aggressive. Which is obviously horrible. Very, very aggressive. And then when he starts engaging in anal sex, he's like I'm gonna fuck you, right? And Neil like goes at it straight up, and he's like, and the guy who's gonna have sex with him is like, what the fuck? Put on a condom first. And Neil doesn't have a concept of that in his head, because I mean, obviously, it's because he buries his trauma in sex, and he's like a little child who doesn't understand.
Yep.
Because what Coach did stuck him at a moment of time in his sexual life, froze him in it forever,
Mm-hmm.
and forever ruined his sex life, ruined him and his sex life. And I thought that scene is very powerful.
Yeah. Like,
Um,
ugh, it hits so hard. I
yeah,
don't know. Like Neil will never be able to have normal, intimate sex, pretty much, because it was destroyed for him. And no matter how hard he like tries to work um around it, I guess he won't be able to because it's so
mm,
deep rooted in him. Yeah,
mm-hmm.
wait. Oh, also I wrote there's a line where he's talking to Eric, his friend, and he was like, there's a porno in the VCR if you want to jack off. And I was like, no. I was like, here is a boy
That's not
that loves you. He is your friend, okay? Ignore the
and
fact that
loves
he
him
literally is
romantically.
in love with him. But if we even ignore that fact and just as a friend loves him, even then, he cannot accept the normal love that people have for each other, and he has to
Yeah,
tie it back to something sexual.
right.
And like, oh, the only way they can like spend time together or like be together is if something sexual is happening. Like,
It's so sad. It's so sad. Let's get to his relationship with his friends, because half of my notes here, except for that's so fucking awful, is about fucking what is her name? Wendy, but what's the actress's name?
um Michelle
Trench
Trenchbert.
and Trench Warfare. She I think I don't know if I said this on podcast or off podcast, but when I watched Buffy the Vampire Slayer when I was younger, she was like one of my crushes, my
Yes.
celebrity crushes, and she still fucking is. She's 19 in this movie, and she's hot as hell.
Yes, she
She's hot
is.
as fucking hell. I can't. She's stunning.
Mm-hmm.
She's freaking stunning. You can
Wait,
concur.
move your head a little. Yeah. Woo.
Yeah, she's so fucking pretty. She's
Mm-hmm.
amazing, and she's such a supportive friend too. She kisses Neil on the lips, but it's also because Neil has no concept of what romantic sexual friend like that. That's all blended in his head. Um, but it's not even about this. She's her character is amazing.
Yeah.
Her relationship with Eric and Neil is amazing. I love their friend dynamic. I think they're also stylish and cool and funny.
They're so
Like
stylish.
I want to be in that car. I would want to be
Yeah.
in that car. Um, Eric, I like his character, but he's not very fleshed out
No.
um in general. But I do really love their dynamic.
I loved his dynamic with Brian.
Yeah, and that's at the end, obviously.
Ugh.
Yes.
I was obsessed. Love. Love them.
Um Sorry, I have to scroll through tons of just like reactionary notes where I'm just like, that's disgusting, that's freaky,
It's
what the
okay.
fuck.
It's okay.
Um Joseph Gordon Leslie's eyes.
Oh, I mean, I
Jesus.
know they're like contacts, but
Yeah, because the blue is like purity and like child. Because some people have like blue eyes and then they become brown. That's pretty common, right?
mhm.
So it's like really, really like a childhood thing. He's very pale and blue and like innocent, and
Yeah.
he's kind of like an ideal like angel. He's like an angel to everyone around him. Everyone's like obsessed with him because
Yep.
he's just like this tragic person who's so free about sex and so like I don't want to say it like this, but his skin is white, his eyes are blue. He's like an angel. He's like
Yeah.
idyllic, you know? And everyone around him loves it. But his character is tragic because all of his personality is based off what happened to him as a kid.
Mhm.
Um and people romanticizing that is very common. This like tragic character who's like very loosey goosey and like uncaring is people do romanticize that. Um,
I do want to say two really quick things. One, the first time I watched this movie, Neil gave me such gender envy. I wanted to kill myself. Oh my God. Just, yeah. He
yeah,
ideal. Yeah. Anyways, also, this movie is perfectly casted. The little boy
perfectly,
that played him and the little boy that
amazingly
played him.
casted. Yes.
I mean, it's the oh, great.
Let's get
Great.
to some technical stuff. Cinematography
Oh,
here is
that was my other note.
amazing.
That was my other note. Mm.
Cinematography here is amazing. Visually, this movie is so kinetic and wonderful and colorful and everything. So much energy, so much coolness, so much style. Um, what else was
The
my
close-up shots.
the close up? Everything about the cinematography is perfect. Um, Something that very impressed me was the intimacy coordination.
Yeah,
Very, it's awful how real these are.
I know, dude.
I
I know.
obviously I haven't been in sexual situations like Neil is in, but they are very real. Um, and it hurts to watch some of these scenes, and a lot of the side performances of the people that Neil fucks with are like so creepy and awful, and real. And we can just talk about that last encounter he has where he is brutally attacked.
Hold on. Let
Um,
me let me make a switch, guys. Just so y'all know.
this is oh, you're gonna show how he looks like after.
Yeah.
He is attacked brutally, horribly by this man. And the coordination there is so good because it's some of the most it's might be the most painful scene to watch.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Apart from when coach rapes him, it might be one of the most painful things to watch in this movie. Because it goes on and you're seeing it and it gets worse and worse and you're like, Neil, buddy, and
See,
it's so awful how real it is.
that's where what you were saying really works well, where it didn't show him getting raped. All it had to show was his face, and
Mm-hmm.
you just knew. And you immediately knew, and you wanted to like I wanted to kill myself because of how depressing it was and how bad I felt for him.
Seeing his head hit again and again from stop.
I can't.
Um, what? Sorry, I'm like totally. I lost all
I
freaking.
well,
That seems awful.
I think that was also his switch
Mm-hmm.
scene, you know?
He realizes he needs to get better to some extent.
Yeah.
Um,
And it kind of shows with the way he interacts with Brian and Eric when he goes back to Kansas.
yeah, yeah.
And he's definitely has
He's
there's more maturity to him almost.
yeah.
Okay, so something that I also kind of wanted to bring up real quick that I noticed on my second watch that I didn't notice on my first watch was how, and it has to do with Brian, which it looks like he's resting on my shoulder. Um
Oh, you wish.
oh, I wish.
Mhm.
uh no. Anyways,
Well, I do too.
okay. Okay.
Love him.
He's a little cutie pie.
He is a little cutie pie.
But his relationship with Evelyn is weird. And I wanted to bring that up.
His relationship with
The girl
who's
who
Evan?
also got abducted.
Oh yes, yes. Very weird.
And I'm going to touch on that in
That's
a
like a whole part
moment.
of the movie that we haven't talked about.
Yeah. But one thing that I noticed was the scene where she took him to the deer
Hmm.
and she like made him like touch around the deer.
The missing genitals.
Yes. I never really picked up on the fact that obviously like one of his main responses, trauma responses is getting the nosebleeds and passing out
Yeah.
and or
Yes.
having like a seizure or whatever.
Hmm.
And it never clicked for me that him putting his hand in the deer brought back the trauma
Oh.
of having to,
Oh, I get it now.
yeah. And
Oh, that's
and
fucked.
it clicked the minute I saw it, it clicked for me and I was like, holy shit,
Oh,
holy
that's
shit.
bad.
Yeah.
Oh, I just puked in my mouth.
Yeah. It makes so much sense as to why then he passed out, because in the beginning you're like, why is he passing out? Maybe he's just grossed out by
Right.
deer. No, it's bringing back the trauma of what he had to do to that stupid fucking
Right.
coach. Yeah. So that was like one of like the main things. I was like, oh my god,
Yeah.
fucked
I I
up.
I think that scene is also symbolically relevant because that deer was castrated and Brian was essentially castrated.
Mm-hmm.
As Coach revoked his privileges to any sexual encounters in the future. The second that Evelyn tries to kiss him, anytime someone engages sexually with him, he denies it. And then it's because Coach has castrated, like that deer was castrated, him and took away any option of him recovering or being sexually active in a positive way.
Yeah.
Um, the with concerning Evelyn, I loved this choice of alien invasion as a metaphor for or a coping mechanism
Mm-hmm.
for child abuse. As we said earlier, as a child you don't have any contact. You're not supposed to have any contact with sexual um anything,
Yeah.
right? Especially when you're 8 years old.
Mm-hmm.
So sex is something that's extremely alien to a child being molested. And Coach literally probes these kids in that he physically touches them in all like I'm being very um graphic, but
Yeah.
physically touches them all over and um makes him probe them back physically as well as he forces them to fist him. Um so idea of an alien invasion, something alien coming in and probing you and changing you and forcing you to change and ruining your life and everyone who has claimed to be invaded by an alien has focused on it for the rest of their life and can't get their mind off it. Um, so this metaphor worked very, very well, and it's very, very real to the situation.
Yeah. And I actually had a question for you. And um, So I'm assuming, do you think that Evelyn went through something similar as a child?
I had a note about that too because I wasn't sure.
Because I was
Um,
like, maybe her grandparents, because she did mention her grandparents, but I wasn't sure. So I was like, did Evelyn go through something traumatic as well? Maybe it's not like, maybe she wasn't molested, but was she abused? Because I
maybe
don't.
that's the thing, you never know, because cases like this, many people went through something like this and haven't said it in their life and went with it to their grave.
Yeah.
Um, so and there are stories of people acting weird in alien invasions. You never know. It's kind of Evelyn as a character is kind of a testament to how abuse goes unsaid fizzles up and turns into fantastical stuff and then it's forgotten.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so why that last scene, the ending of the film is so important because it's showing two victims coming together and talking about it, putting this abuse out in the open and not letting it simmer up and not letting this fantasy and this coping mechanism to continue. Um, yes. I'll say I cried twice during this movie.
Oh,
Um,
wow, what parts?
the first one was when I think it was at Wendy's workplace in New York. She was like at a coffee. She was like serving him coffee or like a drink or something, and he like talks. I really don't remember. I was totally in like a different world while watching this.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and it killed me. It hurt me a lot. Just she like tells him, "I hope you're being safe, Neil." And
Mm.
then she's like, "Neil, I hope you're being safe."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Something along the lines of that, and it just
Oh, was this
broke
when
me.
was this when she was like New York? She was like, what, one wrong move in New York and you could end up dead?
Right?
Yeah.
Yes, that scene. I
Mm-hmm.
don't know, something about it. The lighting there was so soft, and like the Gordon Leslie's face just
Leslie.
Levitt. Is it Levitt?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Joseph
Gordon.
Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
Joseph Leslie.
Just
Sorry.
killed me there. And the last time was obviously during the ending here.
Right. This
Um,
scene is the most powerful scene of the whole movie.
yeah.
Um, like the way Brian just breaks down and there's like a voiceover and Neil is like, I wish I could tell him it gets better or it gets easier, but he was like something along the lines like it only really gets harder. And I was like it's so, the scene is so wholesome, yet at the same time it's so gruesome. Like
Devastating. And
how can
also he
like
describes more this uh, I don't know, threesome, is that what you would call it,
I don't know
counter
what
that
I
they
want to call
had.
it.
It's like a this double rape that occurred, and
Mm-hmm.
and we don't hear about it till then.
Yeah.
um and it's graphic and it's disgusting and it's brutal and it's wholesome at the same time, which is such a tight line to walk. But this
Mm-hmm.
ending is so amazing and so powerful. One of the most powerful scenes I've ever seen in my life,
Yeah.
hands down. Um, because it's so incredibly human, and I'll get to that when I get to my rant. But yeah,
And
um,
um I just wanted to mention also that the first time I watched the movie, when it got to this scene, I was like wrecked emotionally. And I was then shocked because then I was kind of expecting something to happen with him. Like as the movie progressed, I was like, okay, so clearly something happened between him and the coach as well. But I didn't realize that it went to the extent that it did. And then I just was like, yeah,
and it happened twice with Brian as
yeah,
well.
it did. And in a
Um,
way, the second time that it happened with Brian was like he it was like a prey and predator because this kid was lost on Halloween and he just comes and takes advantage of him. Like, what kind of
mm,
sick fuck do you have to be to do that to a kid?
Right.
Disgusting.
Um, do you have any other I'll get to why I don't want to say my reactionary notes because it feels like it feels like just unnecessary to say. It's
Yeah,
like
it's you don't have
people
to.
people are always like, "Oh, this part's so disgusting and and um disturbing or whatever," and it's not about that. Um and I just want to shout out my friend Elizabeth. Um
Yes, Elizabeth.
Meli knows her as well. Um, which is kind of the reason I don't because reading out these notes kind of feels like what she's commenting on here. She says I see this movie on lists like top 10 most disturbing films or some shit, and that's just not it. And I totally agree with what she says. She says, yeah, it's a hard watch, but something about it feels like a deep exhale, which is such a
The
real thing to say.
okay, she's so oh my god. Elizabeth, if you're watching this episode, you're the goat. She's so
You're the
smart,
goat.
guys. She has like the most philosophical shit to say. Um, but that's why I couldn't answer your question last week because off the podcast, Yoav asked me, "Would you consider Mysterious Skin to be one of the most disturbing movies you've watched?" And I couldn't
Mhm.
answer that because I
Right.
was like, "Well, technically, what it's talking about is disturbing. Obviously, rape, molestation is a very disturbing topic. But the movie itself, I don't think I could consider it the most disturbing movie I've watched or
Yeah.
because uh, because of the way it is, like it's so hard to answer. I don't know. Like obviously it's disturbing cuz kids should not be going through that.
Mhm.
But the way the movie was made and shot and put together is not
Which I told you my favorite my the most disturbing film I've seen is Fire Walk with Me. I stand by that, and I think
yes.
Mysterious Skin is up there on the same list as Fire Walk with Me. But that's not if it's like top 10 most disturbing shit, I'll say like some horror movie. But both Fire Walk with Me and this are incredibly disturbing but incredibly innocent at the same time.
Mhm.
Should I get to my long thing? It's not that long.
Yeah,
It's
get
just
to it.
um so much of this is what I wrote. So much. I don't want to make this is I'm writing this for Letterboxd.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I don't want to make this a one sentence long review about how traumatic this movie is because like so many others wrote on this app because a lot of the reviews I saw was like, "Oh my god,
Mhm,
so
mhm.
awful, so brutal, 5 out of 5." I just want to write the following. So much about this feels so brutal and unhealthy, yet watching this is a sort of healthy process. I don't think I can think of one thing that I would change to better convey the arcs these characters go through to the viewers. Along with every other person who wrote a review with a high rating for this film on this app, I went through a very visceral experience with Mysterious Skin. There's nothing I can say to describe the pure, infectiously depressing, how purely infectiously depressing these emotions are. I don't even know if depressing is the right word. Human, this movie is human. I felt this movie in my head, in my stomach, in my back, in my neck, and in my fucking balls. Last time I felt this viscerally affected by cinema was in the finale of Twin Peaks The Return and in Twin Peaks Fire Walk with Me. And Gregor Rocky's very influenced by Lynch. And the end of The Return is the end of a 17-hour long film. Mysterious Skin and The Return are the only two works I've seen that have really portrayed true innocence, and Mysterious Skin does it in an hour and 40 minutes. True purity of the soul. Um, Both also manage to portray how innocence can be brutally murdered in just 1 second by things that are incredibly awful as molestation. I notice that I keep comparing this to other works in my head, but I feel like that's my coping mechanism for dealing with this movie. I won't be rewatching this one for a while. I agree that this is a really hard one to choose to rewatch, but I don't agree with anyone on here saying that they wouldn't recommend this to anyone. I think this movie is an extremely transformative experience for any person with a soul, and it will definitely get most people feeling things that they've never felt before. This movie's message is extremely important for everyone to hear and understand. don't not watch this because some people hype this up to be extremely traumatic of an experience. I would say this is traumatic, but I truly believe that watching Mysterious Skin when you're ready can surely alter your perception of the power of film, of memory, and really of life as a whole. Um, that what I just wrote felt kind of cringe, so let me just thank Melina for forcing me to watch this on this week's pod.
That was so good.
Thank
Holy
you.
shit. Wow,
Um,
guys, if you're watching this, make sure to follow Yoav on Letterboxd and like up his review.
like up Meli's too. She's gonna write a banger one for this one. I know
I'm
it.
so bad at writing reviews, guys. It's actually really bad.
But what
I'll
she
try and
said on
write
this pod
something.
was very, very meaningful. So shout out to her and shout out to Elizabeth.
Shout out to
Um,
Elizabeth.
do you have any other notes or do you want to like get to
That's
rating?
that's about it. That's about all my notes. We covered pretty much everything.
Okay. Um, you start with the rating, or did I?
I'll start with mine since I
Okay.
5 out of 5.
Okay.
Guys, it's been 5 out of 5. It will stay 5 out of 5. Yeah.
Yes. This happens to be the second podcast in a row where we both rate the film a 5.
Woo!
I
Yay!
I do think there are some aspects that I am overlooking because this is such a visceral experience. I think there are some dialogues here. I'm being very honest that were
Mhm.
a little like on the nose too much.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah, yeah.
when I say that, that's something I say with too much confidence because I could never write anything as potent as this and as subtle as this really is. So I'm not going to use that as a criticism. I'm giving it a 5 because it's a film that is so powerful and one of the most powerful experiences I've ever been through, and that's what I'm giving a 5.
Yep.
Just to
And
be clear.
also, if you haven't, obviously you haven't, but to the viewers, if you haven't seen other like Iraqi movies, his dialogue tends to be, especially in like Nowhere and Doom Generation, he has a very specific way of writing dialogue. And so sometimes it comes off as a little cringy, but to me, usually that really bothers me. But I feel like in the universe and the world of Greg Araki, it works really well, especially in
I
the context
agree
of his movies.
because
Because,
he has no punches held.
yeah,
He's not gonna say some subtle artsy bullshit to
no,
you. He's gonna tell you a story that's gonna be on the nose and brutal, and that's what it is,
yeah.
and it affects you deeply.
And this movie is also his most like serious movie. So,
Really,
yeah, it is definitely. Definitely the most hard hitting, the most like, I guess, impactful in that sense. His other movies are like a little bit goofier. Um and
I love to
they're a
see him
lot,
get goofy.
yeah, he gets so goofy and so fun. It's like it's a whole journey. Yeah. So I'm excited for Yoav's Greg Araki journey, and
It will happen. It will
oh,
happen.
it better happen. Yeah.
Yes, yes, yes.
Woo!
Thank you
Guys, that
so much for recommending this to me
you're welcome.
because that epic movie, so good. Should we get? Are we getting to my pick?
Hell yeah, let's get to your pick. Let's take these bad boys down.
These bad boys. I love saying that.
You're such a
Wait,
bad boy.
stop. Wait. Okay, wait. I'm just pulling up the letterbox for this, so I have a description because I think we should
No
start like
worries.
reading descriptions.
That's a good idea.
Okay.
Also, just want to mention this has been our longest episode in a while.
Because there's so much to say, because it's friggin' Mysterious Skin.
Right, right, right.
And you know what? I'm happy you chose this because I got to choose a comedy. Because
Yay!
oh wait, I didn't turn off my background because
Wait,
we need a comedy after this one.
we do. Pause
For
though,
sure.
because I need a glug of water after that.
Okay.
Whew.
I need to, but I'll drink it after. Um, while you're drinking water, I'll put on some music which represents this movie and is a big part of it. And the song is "We Are Family" by Sister Sledge.
Okay.
Um,
Uh-huh.
so this movie stars Nathan Lane and Robin Williams, and it's directed by Mike Nichols, who is the director of The Graduate. And it is maybe my favorite comedy of all time. It's from 1996, and this is the
Uh-huh.
description. A gay cabaret owner and his drag queen companion agree to put on a false straight front so that their son can introduce them to his fiance's conservative, moralistic parents. This movie's called The Birdcage,
I knew it.
and it's high key the funniest thing you'll ever see in your whole life. I can't overhype this. If you're a theater kid, what should put you on this right now is that songs here, and a big person that worked on this was Stephen frickin' Sondheim, worked on making songs for this movie. But we're just gonna ignore that fact. This movie is perfectly crafted comedy. Um I This movie makes my heart feel so good, and I just wanted to pick something that will give us some good vibes.
Holy shit.
So that's The
Okay,
Birdcage.
okay. When you started reading the description out loud, I'm like, is this the bird kid? I'm so excited. Holy shit. Holy
And
shit.
yes, this movie is based on a French movie called Le Cage aux Folles, or The Birdcage in French.
Mm-hmm.
Um, it's good. It's in the Criterion Collection, and it's worth being in the Criterion Collection, but it's not as good as this epitome of comedy. I hope you'll like this, viewers, and specifically Meli, because it is so fun. Watch this with your parents, even if
Oh,
they're
maybe I
good
will.
with this. It because it's so it's just great. It's great. It's rated R, but like not even in the way that Mysterious Skin is in any way.
Okay.
Um, this is such a fun one. Please enjoy it and watch Mysterious Skin if you haven't.
Yeah, guys, you better do it.
Wait, what if they haven't seen it?
We won't threaten them this time because I understand.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Sorry
I
if that's a trigger for you. That must suck.
Yeah, but you know what? If you haven't seen Mysterious Skin, you should get on it, but I won't because I
Watch it
get
one
it.
day.
Watch it one day, but if you haven't seen any of the Greg Rocky movie, fuck you.
Okay. Yeah, fuck you.
Not even
Done.
Smiley Face, like that's like his like second most like famous movie, okay?
Right,
Like
right. Just get on Gregor Rocky. Don't feel shy like I felt.
yeah, don't feel shy, guys. He seems intimidating from the outside, but he's a goofy little goober on the inside.
He is. He is. Thank
He's
you guys so
really
much for watching.
Yeah, thanks guys.
Yes. And have a great week. Watch the Birdcage.
Yep. Bye
Oh, I forgot
everyone.
we're not on FaceTime.
We're
We're like
not, so this doesn't happen. But
Bye
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 guys.
guys.